Hi, everybody. Welcome to the QB School. I am JT O'Sullivan. Today, Jaxson Dart preseason week 3. Better late than never. Locked in. Let's get it going. Welcome to the QB School. Before we dive into the video, a quick reminder about the Quarterback School Patreon community. This group is the foundation, the bedrock of the channel. Not only is it a great, inexpensive way to support the channel, but you get even more Quarterback School content. So you dig these types of videos, you will love the Quarterback School Patreon community. Hop over there, join, become a member. I appreciate your support. As for this video, let's get into it. Jaxson Dart preseason, week 3, a little empty, second and medium here. Not there. He's going to go create. Great job finding the number 3. And kind of a little, scramble out of structure, able to kind of, looks like he wants to create and almost have the number 1 up top, do like a double move. You actually see the point. Hard to know exactly how they would read this or what he's looking at, but you've got to appreciate the capacity to go make a play, to create, to get upfield, to keep your eyes up, get rid of the ball, get it into the playmaker's hands. To me, this is a version of what I would classify as probably shock down here to the bottom. So where the ball ends up going, we'll call it stick. That might be a juke. It could easily be kind of Haas juke down here as well with a little one-step smoke. Then up top, it looks like they run what I would classify as like a wrap. This might be a choice, but I doubt it. And then it sure looks like Jaxson Dart tells the number 1 up top to take this thing, like to point like go, because he kind of probably sees this, what I'll call a quarters safety down here, drive that wrap in. And there's certainly space here, but, just one of those things not getting communicated in play, pretty tough. Now, what's going on coverage-wise here to me, this is just stubby down here to the bottom for me. So man or Meg everywhere he goes, and then you're essentially playing these 3 over these 2. And so when you run this inside fade and you come out of here with whether this is a juke or a stick here, you're going to have all this space because technically the nickel or the star defender right here, he's going to carry the vertical of number 2. So that's where the space comes from. But how he's reading this, what he's looking at, you probably never want to throw a wrap in versus quarters up top. So you're either going to work the slot up top, the 2, or you're going to work the 3 down here to the bottom on whatever that's supposed to be. Again, I like the base. You can see him point. He's trying to communicate. They just don't see it. And you actually see the collision of the number 1 receiver up top and the safety right there as he tries to take it. But I just love the fact that he's able to kind of get up the field, keep his eyes downfield, and make this kind of throw out of structure for a huge play. I mean, this is a big-time play. The penalty, I think, is the defensive end on the left in the neutral zone. But you can see here, I mean, what is he looking at here as he's dropping back, looking to our left? I don't know, maybe he's looking off. Not sure what he would be looking off with the split field coverage coming back to the wrap in there. But keeps his base. Great job getting upfield, finding a throw, and this thing turns into a big, big play. Punt return right. Let's go. Next play here. This is a bit of a bummer. The old double wheel play down here to the bottom, which doesn't exist in football, but the Giants are reinventing preseason ball. Almost turns into a touchdown, LOL. But if I had to guess, I would say the wing is probably supposed to run a post. I'm not going to lie. Sometimes great plays happen on accident like this. I don't think you would want to necessarily do this very often. So to me here, on a wheel, followed by another wheel by the inline tight end. Now this thing ends up being kind of a front pylon, back shoulder-ish throw. I'm not going to lie, I kind of like this play. And this is total like joke, but serious too. Like wheel and then have another like a wheel comeback behind it is pretty sweet. Now, if I had to guess, I would say that our guy right here is supposed to be on the post. Then that's usually tethered to a wheel down here to the bottom. Nice job not making a bad play a disaster. If someone's running the wrong route down here to the bottom, not there. I probably would like something more from the back as far as a check down option. Is that your boy from Arizona State? Pride of Rio Lindo right there, looking like a Rio Lindo check down. That ain't it. So what I'm saying here is very rarely, if ever, are you going to have a check down where you would come up here and turn around versus any kind of man coverage. A guy waiting for you right here. You want to come up and just run this thing like an option route. You want to come up, give him some, and separate. And really, it doesn't matter which way you go as long as you win. But we can't have the tailback covered by a linebacker type like that in man coverage. Still, almost a touchdown out of structure there. Again, 2 plays, 2 out of structure plays for me. Not there. Don't force it. Extend, create, eyes downfield. And, that's close. Probably just out of the reach. Next one here, touchdown pass. After this little fake fast or tear motion, we're going to end up throwing the number 1 up top. We'll call it a slant. You don't see a whole lot of middle field close safety in the tight red. Maybe the Fighting Vrabels are trying to recreate defense down here, but 31 in the middle of the field is really not helping on either side. So you've essentially got one-on-ones on both sides. The throw is probably a tick behind us, but it doesn't matter when it's that open. So again, this little shift here, how's the defense going to adjust? They're going to push. Looks like he's probably running with him in man. Come back. You see the safety in the middle of the field, right on the toes on the goal line. So to me here, this is closed. You just don't see a lot of tight red zone close. Why? Because it really doesn't take anything away. So we come up here and we've got this slant or short post. It looks like it's paired with like a rail or a bullet out the backfield. And again, it's not even a good throw and it's a touchdown. So certainly a good read, good timing, good call, good pre-snap recognition, nice rhythm, good enough throw and touchdown. And if it wasn't there, so we see the back out the backfield on that rail, maybe back, that far pylon throw. If not, you've got that kind of double in with a corner down here to the bottom. A lot of people call China or some version of it. You got winners all over the place. But that's a really nice job from Dart, being able to get the ball out of his hand quickly, put it on him. Again, go into school on the shift. Boom. Quick, sudden, on him. Next one here, little RPO or PRO, however it hits your brain. But this is an Ole Miss special. Just inside zone, hitches. You like it. It's an access throw, meaning depending on the coverage on the perimeter, can you throw this thing? Is it a gift? There's lots of different ways to kind of classify these types of throws. But if we've got a box count issue, which they certainly do, let's alleviate the issue and just throw the ball outside perimeter one-on-one. So post shift here, 3x1 nub, get to 2x2. And again, you don't have to be a math guru, right? 4 defensive linemen, 3 second level players in the box. So at least 6.5 there. You've got this little gift hitch, free access, gift hitch down here to the bottom. Take your pick. I think it's softer up top. Nice, clean, simple, easy decision. I think this throws easier to the left with how your feet are lined up. On him, the play's even better, I think, if you can get it on him just a tick quicker as opposed to kind of faux faking. But every team's going to do their RPO footwork and ball handling a little different. Just that little faux kind of like, as opposed to catch, throw. Get it out quicker, maybe a better chance to make somebody miss, but still nice. Next one here, maybe very next play. A little snag or spot down here to the bottom. We're going to throw the flat. I personally think you could probably throw the hitch as well. It's probably 6-1, half dozen to the other. Nothing wrong here with this read. Again, clean, simple, easy reads. Can't miss your layups. This is a nice job throwing the flat. This is not the easiest throw in the world. Again, if we're going quick, to me, here's that gift hitch. It's a pretty similar look, maybe slightly tighter coverage than the previous one. Then down here to the bottom, we're going to get that spot or snag right here, almost always paired with a corner, and where the ball ends up going on that flat. And again, the only thing I'll say about these flat throws are these throws are more difficult than they look. And so making sure that you're locked in with the ball precision, the ball location, the ball handling, all really nice jobs from Jaxson Dart here, being decisive, getting the ball out of your hand and looking like a first down. So again, just lots to like. I like the kind of use of a little bit of what looked like tempo in the All-22 film, being decisive, completions. Let's go. Next one here, end up running like an iteration of flood or kind of super sail, whatever you want to call it, up top. Now the ball looks like it's underthrown, and I think probably the hit on him has more to do with it than anything else. this thing takes a while, so you've got to kind of hang on to your rear back there, and the right guard ends up probably thinking he has more help than he does. This thing comes out and kind of dies on us a little bit. But all this is here's that deep flag or pylon type throw. Here's that sail-ish throw, kind of the intermediate one where the ball's probably designed to go. And then there's almost always something in the flat. And so, different teams will drop this different things. From gun here, is this 3 and a hitch? Is this 5? Is it big 3? What's the drop here to help you out? Because I don't think there's necessarily a right answer. I will say, if you take 3, you might have to 2 hitch this thing, especially if there's any sort of, collision as these guys are running through these stems on these routes, because they are coming through the box to get to their kind of final landmarks. So you can see they had to kind of take like a detour path here. Watch the point. See him kind of have to go around, and it just takes a while. It's not there's nothing quick or timing to this type of throw. So he's got to buy a little bit of time. He moves into pressure. That probably, as much as it might sound like an excuse, impacts the throw and the location. Again, the right guard to me probably thinks he's got more help than he does. The center kind of gets knocked off, helping the other side. Now we move into trouble, and the ball just comes out a little short. But I like the read and the aggressiveness. Next one here, a little 2x2 open. We're going to take a shot up top on a little double move. A lot of people would call this a sticks type concept. I personally love taking shots and double moves on third and medium, third and kind of opportunities where DBs are thinking, oh, I'm going to get an outbreaker right past the sticks to come back and let this thing rip, give your guy a chance. Now the ball probably brings him in a little bit, but there are a few things here that I really want to talk through. And these are more like not necessarily Jaxson dart issues, but just kind of universal ball issues. So here's that double move and go. Everybody else is running more the traditional sticks route, kind of up and back. And so you read this thing usually inside out. I like this adjustment. If you gave a hand signal, love it. I will say once you catch closed, or the easiest way to think about this, I guess, is if this is man to man over here, the route has to beat the one-on-one coverage. Okay, so this player, if he wants to play in the NFL, he's got to be able to beat that with the double move. It's almost always the quarterback's responsibility to hold the near safety on double moves. So if you get closed, so let's say one of these guys gets to the middle. So you have to hold this guy in the center of the field with your eyes. There's really no point, especially once the corner turns and looks at this. I personally hate pumping this route because all that does is bring the near safety to you, to the play. If anything, theoretically, you'd want to pump the other way, although that makes the throw much harder. I think it's a lot easier to just stay in the middle of the field, take an extra hitch, and get the ball up. If you know it's man. So again, just play this thing out how Dart does it with the pump. And again, maybe they teach it different. I don't know. I'm just telling you what I think works the best. When you come over here and you're pumping like this or shrugging, look at the corner. He doesn't give a shit. Earmuffs me, right? He doesn't care. All you're doing is bringing another dude to the party. And maybe that's how they roll at Ole Miss, but we don't normally want to bring more dudes to the party. Again, you catch a better safety with more range, and he's going to make a play on that ball. In fact, he probably should make a play on that ball. That's probably why he plays DB, because he can't make a play on the ball. Shots fired. But, from a dart perspective, yeah, it hits the guy in the hands. There looks like there's some collision there, but I just don't like how he's getting to this. So again, he's looking over there the whole time, pumps, the ball brings us back just a little. And again, there's some serious hand fighting there. And this ball probably should be caught. I'm saying it's probably not good enough moving forward. And I bet he gets better at it real quick. Next one here, this is a rough one for me because, we end up getting a sack. I think that there's opportunity for big plays, not necessarily down the field. I think it's a good decision, no throw. I think we need to get better play from our backfield, specifically the tailback here, he either needs to block or get out. We can't live in this tweener world where we don't block and we don't give an outlet. So what's going on here? First of all, just like overall football kind of philosophy, anytime you do this, what I'll call ghost motion behind here, you're doing the defense a favor, in my opinion, for the most part, especially if you're taking a vertical shot down the field, because you're eliminating one of the vertical options. So first of all, in this formation, there are really only 3 vertical options. Then once you run someone with this type of motion, there's really only 2 vertical options. So you're just making things easy on the defense, as opposed to the traditional kind of opposite of this would be like a 7-on-7, 3-by-2 empty formation, and you've got 5 potential verticals. So the first thing here is just not my favorite type of play. Next thing here, we go deep pylon or flag. We go deep crosser. And none of those are there. They just aren't. The safety's over the top. The DB going with the tight end is undercutting him on the inside hip. There's just no chance. You don't really have anywhere to go. I think the fullback does a decent job of getting out, but the guy who really kills this play is right here, the tailback. When he comes up here, as he gets matched to by the inside linebacker type, he either needs to block this guy, come up here and blunt him, or he needs to realize, oh, he's covering me in man-to-man, get out and be an outlet. Because if he were able to get the ball, this would be a big play. We've already seen Dart extend plays and find guys underneath. What you can't do here is essentially sabotage the play. Okay, so the first thing here is, who are you going to throw it to down the field? And there's a safety off the edge there, not throwing the deep one. Up top, tight end, getting undercut. Just never there. Can't throw those. Now, tailback-wise, you got to block him or you got to get out. You can't one pump sack us. That ain't it. So just a little nuances there of this play don't give us a chance. I don't think it's necessarily a bad play or terrible play from Dart. I don't think there's anything there to throw it to. You got to help yourself here and have the pass protection there give us something. I actually think the kind of pocket movement is pretty nice right here. Dip and rip, 2 hands on it, eyes downfield. Who the hell is that? My favorite is when the guy who gave up the sack is 5 yards down the field saying, throw me the ball. What happened? I was there. Comes back to the huddle. I was there, dog. Halftime, you dig the channel and you haven't already, please like, subscribe, hit the bell, get the notifications. I really do appreciate you subscribing to the channel. It means a lot to me, so thank you for taking the time and doing it. Again, the Quarterback School Patreon community, you know about it. Join, become a member, get even more Quarterback School content. We also have Quarterback School courses. You can check out these courses over at thecubschool.com. Hop over there and enroll. Finally, make sure to follow me across all the social media platforms. I appreciate your support. As for this video, let's get back to it. All right, next one here. This is a tough one. This is a good one to learn from, in my opinion, for Dart. This is empty 3-by-2. It looks like he's working the choice down here to the bottom. And then he's got kind of the 1 and the 2 on short ends up top. He ends up getting it to the number 2 on this kind of extended play, and it looks like a really nice completion. The problem is we've got a holding penalty. And the reason why I kind of put this on Dart is because when there's stuff there on time in structure, it's almost always to your best bet to get it out. And so if we're going to say this is the first read, so not really a good drawing, he kind of early sets it, comes out here, tries to win on what I'll call a choice route. Maybe it's just a quick out. It's never there. Good decision not to throw it. On the backside, we've got the number 3 running through, and then we've got the number 2 running a little short in, and the number 1 running a little short in. If I had to guess how this thing was read out or how Dart's playing this, it's 1 to 2 to 3. Now again, to me here, this is there, on time in structure. Again, much easier a week later with a marker and a clicker, I get it. But if we just get the ball out and play the play within the structure of the play, the timing, the rhythm of it. So no to the bottom. I mean, he's already off of him. He's off of him before he even comes out of the break. So probably give him a little bit more down here to right here. Boom, that's there, bro. We got to throw that. Throw it. Throw it. And if not, throw it. You've got the 1 and the 2 up top. So when you don't throw either of those, now it's not clean. Now maybe you can't see it, okay, and that's just a bummer. But no, yes, yes, yes. Now as we go and extend, again, he's shown the capacity to do this. Out of structure, create a little bit, but that will put stress on the offensive line. And when there are things that are there in structure, it's just so much easier on the pass pro unit if you can get the ball out quickly or somewhat quickly, as opposed to it was there, but I'm just going to go create. Now, I get a completion, but I also get a hold. Next one here, second and forever, empty. This looks like a choice down here to the bottom slot. He's going to work the slant element or the in part of it. Can't catch it for him, right, coach? Drop 8, Tampa 2. You got 51 getting to the middle of the field. There's all sorts of space in. I think it's a good decision to take it on the in. The ball is right there. That's a handoff of a throw. Got to hit it. So again, these are good preseason reps, throws, but when you look at the box score, sometimes you'll be like, oh, what's up with the completion percentage? I don't know. This could be anything. Well, he comes up, runs the right route versus what I'm calling Tampa. So half field player, that middle player. We come in, we take it in, makes the right decision. The ball's right on him. It's a handoff of a throw. We just don't catch it. Welcome to the preseason. But you got to like it from a QB eval standpoint because it's decisive. The ball's out on time. It's accurate. He's doing all the right things. He can't catch it for him. I mean, that is, you literally couldn't hand the ball on a better spot to a throw over the middle of the field. Protect your guy. Don't even have to raise up your hands. On the body, on the break, drop. Next one here, third and forever. This is just all slant. Just raise up, put it on the dart, get a completion, get going forward, get a little bit more room to punt. Okay, not going to make more of this than it should be, but showing all the attempts, completions. This is just a good job of it's third and forever. We're not going to force it. We're not going to try to play hero ball. They're going to give you this with the alignment of the second level players on third and forever. Just catch, throw it, get it out of your hand. Again, just a good decision, clean, not an overly complex decision, but don't miss a layup, get it on him, punt, live to fight another day. Next one here, a little 2x2 open, RPO, probably reading that. Technically the Mike linebacker or the backside inside linebacker. We've got too many in the box here. We're reading 51 most likely. He's unblocked. Can he fit the run? If yes, we're going to go inside out, and he ends up getting it to the number 2, who is the number 1 receiver. So that's a lot to say. We're reading this player. He's unblocked. Second level inside backer. Here's the slant, probably the first part. Here's that short in or kind of settle route. So you just read this saying, is he going to fit the run? If he does, we're going to come right off and go 1 to 2. And oftentimes you can kind of see these with the same vision. So nice job. Again, seemingly proficient in the RPO world. Now it'll get a little bit more complicated as you get into more, regular season-ish looks from a defense. But still, certainly from his college film to the preseason film, you see the bones of someone who's pretty comfortable in the RPO world, decisive, get completions, like it. Next one here, just a little flat down here to the boundary, to the little 1x3 nub. I'm assuming that's a flat. Maybe it's a choice. If it's a choice, it's a pretty poor route. Again, I'm not in their installs. I can't tell you that this is the right read. I can tell you that, I don't love this versus man coverage to just raise up and throw flats. This guy doesn't have to do anything. He just runs right to you. Normally, let's draw up what. So this is the concept down here to the bottom, flat corner. Up top, it looks like they're running shock. So stick, terrible inside fade route, but that should be what it is, and a locked hitch. Now, normally, any sort of man closed, I really, really like the inside fade. That's making the assumption that this defender allows you to either win inside and get back outside, or they don't play divider rules and you can get outside leverage him and get out there. But this is a route that says, I don't want the ball, because based on this coverage with this concepts on each side, I love the inside fade versus closed man. The safety's coming from the other hash. I mean, this is a premium shot to take that inside fade, but not when you get, LOL'd at the line of scrimmage there and get pushed inside the numbers. I mean, that's just not it. If this were to happen where you see this kind of collision, so say you come up and like this inside fade up top, you like the shock. As soon as he gets collision like that, just get it to the stick. These two, the stick and the hitch, operate as almost like glorified checkdowns, not glorified checkdowns. They are the next person in the progression. So no, no, no. Instead, he just comes up, raises up, throws the flat. Maybe that's the way that they play it. That would not be great football, in my opinion. But, it's not a terrible quarterback play there. Next one here, third and medium. Where it looks like we're going to throw the go or the fade down here to the bottom. Your boy 13 just might not like Dart. He might be more of a Jameis guy. But this is one of those ones, I think, from a coaching perspective here, if you're going to be aggressive on third down, you've got to be willing to take these shots. This looks like a pretty decent throw. I mean, it's good coverage too. That hand is right there, maybe a tick early before the ball for a potential penalty. But man, it's one of those things where you better hit this thing if you're going to throw it or change the route to this. You ain't got no problem. Press man, okay. Because when you come up to the other side and it looks like, essentially short post here, essentially a pick here, a corner, and then we're going to run this little angle or follow or short post back in here. And this is open, and this is a man beater, and it's that open, and you throw a contested ball down the field, that's going to be a problem. It's going to be a problem. So right here, we just decide to be aggressive down the field, and we don't hook it up. Next one here, fourth down. We're going to catch a 2x2 condensed. He's not going to like it. Use his legs. We'll drive out. It certainly looks like it was going to be a penalty up top. So they were going to get the first down regardless. It's a nice job of Dart using his legs, getting the first down. But then, there's a kind of nonchalant, thinking we're playing Vandy type of vibe here as far as this run for me. So what's going on here is we're trying to work this out. It's not there. We probably got drive coming to us. Okay, so everybody's running that way. Your read is almost guaranteed left to right, and he just takes off and goes. Now, there's a fine line between sprinting through the white, protecting yourself, getting out of bounds, and or getting down, or kind of and then make somebody miss like there's not, 10 other defenders out there on the field. So just learning to protect yourself, but appreciating the capacity to use his legs, go get it himself. He doesn't like it. But then just either get out of bounds. The easy way that I always think of it is if you're outside the numbers, just get out of bounds. If you're inside the numbers, slide. But, for who, for what, right? We're going to put this move on for an extra 5 yards. That sure looks like the ball comes out to me too. It's just so unnecessary more than anything else. And probably just one of those things where it's a good learning rep. Not only do you get smacked, chance you come out of the game, chance you hurt yourself, chance you get, concussed, all those types of things, as opposed to, just being honest about the film, saying, are we running as hard as we can here? Is that protecting yourself? This is not a dangerous, this is a very dangerous place to be. You sure as hell don't want to be jogging very often. Yikes. And on the next one here, you're unavailable. Here comes famous Jameis, comes in one-on-one. He's going to throw the fade. 13 likes him, hits him with the Isaac Bruce kind of get off me low at the hip, never going to get called. And we got a touchdown. So you miss an opportunity for a touchdown because you can't protect yourself on the field and you don't realize you're going to get tackled from behind. Jameis comes in, does Jameis things. Guy can throw the ball one-on-one down the field. Easy to see, bottom of the screen. Even if it's technically split field coverage. One-on-one, bottom of the screen, you can see 13 kind of barely push off there. I always call that an Isaac Bruce push off because I've heard him tell people at the shoulder, it's going to get called. You push off at the hip, it's almost never going to get called. This is just a one-on-one. But again, I don't know if I say it on the channel a lot. I used to say it a lot coaching and still kind of do, joking around with my kids, but your best ability is often your availability. And we're not available. Jaxson Dart right here. So Jameis comes in, gets our touchdown pass. And again, you can see that kind of IB push off right there. That's more the ribs, I guess, but it's not, it's below the shoulder. Create a little space, drop it in the bucket. Let's go. So that is a wrap. Jaxson Dart preseason week 3 in the books. I think there was enough to be excited about. I certainly appreciate him being decisive, getting the ball out of his hand quickly for the most part. Was it always great? You know, I think he could have helped himself by being a little bit more on time, on schedule. But man, you love to see the creative element, the capacity to extend, use his legs, hopefully moving forward, protect himself, not slow down on the field, those types of things. But I really do appreciate his ability to let it rip. I thought the touchdown, tight window, middle field close, those types of throws in the red area, impressive. And then you combine that with how comfortable he is in the RPO world, and you can kind of see, if you squint a little bit, blurry, the kind of idea, the blueprint for what it will look like, if/when he plays pretty quickly here for the Giants. And so it's going to be a combination of keeping him comfortable, getting the ball out of your hand quickly, RPO world, being aggressive, taking shots down the field, maybe holding safeties a little bit better, and then being able to extend, use his legs, use his athleticism to be able to generate some explosive plays. But overall, I think you got to be pretty excited about the preseason film. We'll see what it looks like when he gets his chance there in the regular season. Thank you so much for hanging to the end. I will see you next time. Have a good one.